Just so everyone's aware, the meeting is being recorded from here on out for future distribution purposes. To start off the meeting today, we're just going to do a quick review of cases. As of the 7th of September, at around 11:30, we had a total of 1,705 cases reported to the schools. There's been a total of 54 confirmed outbreaks as of 8:31 at 11:15 a.m. We do have another 3 that we have confirmed since then that I'm aware of, and there could potentially be a few more. So, we're at 57 at this point in time, outbreaks that have occurred in schools. Do a quick walk through the website here on just a couple of updated things to look at. First is school resources. We've added in this quarantine quiz. When can my child return to school? So any parent, guardian, staff, person at a school site can open up this quiz and take it. It's pretty interactive and helpful. So you go through, have you had contact or have thought to a COVID-19, hit next, how many symptoms? We'll say yes for this one. Next, then find a testing location. Your child should be tested regardless of vaccination status. Child can return to school here and here. So, and that's pretty small. Let me increase the size on this. Oh, wrong one. This one. So now I've got this guidance here, and then I can submit, and it looks like I've got another response track here. So it's pretty helpful. It does give you also, if I do this, and go through and just answer these questions. Did your child have a negative COVID test on day 5 calendar days after exposure? Yes, and they have no symptoms. Next, and then it'll say you can return after 7 calendar days have passed from their exposure. So I'm going to drop this survey or the link to this page in the chat, just so you all can have access to it. Because again, I think it's just we've gotten really great feedback on it so far from the parents and from the teachers that have used the quiz to address their questions on quarantine and isolation. For more information in here, there's we dropped a link to the quarantine quiz in here as well. And we do have this is updated now. So if you do need to make a PPE request, last week we looked at that and it was not up to date, it was a little embarrassing. So I got that taken care of. Now, when you click that link, it'll take you directly to the place for where you can request personal protective equipment for your school site, whether it's masks or things of that nature. Okay. The other thing that's going to be going up on here soon is the testing information, which I'm going to find that really fast. Nope. I'll move on with a couple other things and bring this up in a second, but it's essentially the reporting form for the self-test kits, which are in the warehouse right now. We have the printed labels picked up. So we'll be reaching out to your district point of contacts to organize logistical pickup between the rest of today and tomorrow for self-testing kits for your district. Each of those kits comes with a sticker. We haven't been able to get stickers on all of those, but we just need to get these out to you at this point in time. So when you get those, just make sure a sticker goes on the test kit box. And then the implied consent with those is that once you receive those are supposed to be distributed to individuals who would not have access to testing at your school site, okay? Stuart Slonaker, who's on the call here today, went down to pick up those stickers and drop them off at the warehouse. I was trying to give you a call just before this, and then I got 2 other calls that I had to take, but you and I are going to touch base right after this meeting to get the distribution aligned with Frank and the other folks at the warehouse. So just know for all you on the call that are awaiting those, they are ready to go at this point, and we will be organizing pickup for your school district for the allotted amount based on the percentage of enrollment at your school versus the total enrollment of all students in Pima County. So that's how we're allocating the percentage at this point in time. Okay. I do want to make just a quick note. You may see in the next 3 to 4 weeks some changes on the reporting. We're thinking we're just going to make this one button, and you will still have the Excel spreadsheet drop option. If we do that, we will give you ample notice, at least 2 weeks notice before we make that systems change, and we will be extremely redundant in how we report that, or how we inform that reporting change to you all, so you all are up to speed on it and you know what it is you're using and how you navigate the tool. It should be easier than the previous Qualtrics manual entry. And if it's just the Excel file drop, it's going to be pretty much the same thing as well. The reason why we're doing this is because we're having some issues tracking outbreaks in a timely manner. And with the new survey implementation, it'll be a lot faster, and we'll keep you on the phone for a less period of time in any kind of outbreak situation. Okay. Question popping up from Mr. Arnacki. If you select yes to contact with someone with COVID, it says stay home, but then asks about symptoms. If you say yes to symptoms, it tells you to take a COVID test, and if negative, you can come back after negative COVID test in 24 hours for free. But the students have a known exposure. So yeah, that is correct, Janine. Let me bring that feedback back to comms. I think there was an implication in that if there's a close contact, you automatically have 7-day reduced quarantine after post-symptom onset, regardless of which. So let me track through that and run that scenario by comms, and we can edit that quiz a little bit. That's a great catch. Thank you. Okay. So vaccine updates. We know that the booster is coming up here soon. Currently, individuals who are medically compromised are eligible to receive a third booster dose of Pfizer. We're expecting maybe mid-October for that booster to be authorized for general public. That's not a final date yet. We'll keep you posted as we learn more about that. For under 12, it's looking like that is now moving to September is when we'll be authorized for under 12. By the time both of those things roll around, we should be doing at least 5 school sites, up to 5 school sites a day, where we're administering vaccinations throughout the county. So there will be ample opportunity for your staff and for your students to get vaccinated when those opportunities open up.
Excuse me, Brian.
Yes, Stu.
It sounded as if you said September for the under 12.
No, November.
Okay.
Good. Thank you for the clarification on that, Stu. Yes. Yeah, November is when we're expecting under 12 to open up now. So yeah, thanks for calling that out. Quick question from Leslie. Are there recommendations for indoor events, performances, concerts? Should we go back to recommendation from last spring, which is 50% capacity and masks in indoor spaces? Great question, Leslie. And I know I'm overdue for a response on this to Nikki. So I've been trying to get some answers on that. And the public health recommendation would be masking indoors. If you have any indoor spaces or indoor things going on, we would recommend masking in those spaces. As far as capacity goes, the health department won't be making any recommendations on capacity limitations for indoor spaces, performance, or concerts. I keep pushing back a little bit on that internally, but that's where we're at right now, just because of kind of what seems like the political field as it currently exists. Question from Leanna Miller-Hilden. If you had Moderna, do you now get Pfizer or wait until Moderna comes out? The current understanding is that you do not mix shots, but I am awaiting for some more clarification around that specific question and questions related to J&J boosters. So when I get that information, I'll make sure to provide those updates on this session in future meetings. But great question, thank you. I mentioned the testing distribution. The last thing on my agenda to talk about today is behavioral health and the work with this larger ELC grant. Before I do that, I'm going to just address Ms. Carrillo's question here. A similar survey developing for the district addressing the issues of contact with or without negative test. That's helpful for comms team. If you want to take a look, I will copy that and paste and send that over to comms right now. Thank you for that. And the title of this will be Check This Out. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. I've been doing this new task force, behavioral health task force, which we had a meeting last week, I believe, or maybe it was the week before. I don't know. Everything's blending together with COVID. The general idea with this task force is to start to align behavioral health with school systems in a systemic way that will get us to a 5-10 year strategic plan where we're decreasing the encumbrance of behavioral health services upon school systems that need that extra support financially and personnel-wise. It overall is serving to be a strategic alignment. One of the things that we're really needing to do in the next 2 weeks is to set up focus group interviews with school districts, including their psychological counseling, social services, and legal department, just to cover what the process is currently looking like in terms of referring students and staff out to behavioral health services, but then also looking at gaps, at barriers, at best practices, and with the goal of developing a county-wide model for several things. But one of the things that was called out is a movement from Tier 1 into Tier 3 behavioral health support. So Tier 1 is, if anyone's familiar with the National Child Traumatic Stress Network, the framework that they spell out for trauma-informed care response. Tier 1 is like universal support. It's access to prevention that everyone has, right? Tier 3 is really high focused and specialized on individuals that are really requiring a more in-depth range of services. So we're going to be trying to connect to all of your district folks that run those services, as well as the legal departments, and setting up at least a half an hour to an hour block of time to have some discussions around what all those things look like and how they manifest within your district. Because without having conversations that are led by schools, if we start to change behavioral health systems and how they interact and support schools currently without having those conversations, we're really not doing meaningful work. So it's really important that we try to get these scheduled as quickly as possible. If your school or your district has not been involved with that conversation as of yet, I really, really would like to connect with you as soon as possible. Please just shoot me an email at brian.eller@pima.gov. I'll type that in the chat here to get the group session set up so that we can begin to work with you on those interviews and focus groups. And then there's a larger task force which meets once a month right now. We'll probably do a school subgroup as well. I know there's a couple of other agencies that are doing work with schools, and we're looking to align all of those groups into one so that we're reducing the amount of meetings that you all have to go to as well. So that's it for today. That's my 15-minute soapbox. What I'd like to do next is open floor for any other questions, comments, or concerns. And a big shout out to Madison Carrillo. who's been dropping some really great resources in the chat here. If you haven't had a chance to open that up and look at them, check it out, because there's some good looking stuff here in terms of like content that's been being shared out with what I would assume are her parents and staff in relation to quarantine isolation guidance. Okay, seeing Kathy, go for it.
I talked to God, I'm blanking on name. I think Sylvia this morning. We had something that came up that I thought might be helpful for other people to know. We had a fair number of close contacts yesterday due to a positive, and one of the students had received their vaccine 12 days ago. And the question was, we know that they're not fully vaccinated at that point. Are they out for the entire isolation period, the entire quarantine period, or would it be once they hit their 14-day mark, can they come back? And I believe she took it to epidemiology, who said if they are not fully vaccinated at the time of the exposure, they have to go through the regular quarantine. And it was something, I think that's going to come up as we have more kids getting vaccinated. Currently, this is going to probably come up frequently. So I thought that might be helpful information.
Yeah, that is helpful, and that's a really important point. So yeah, if the individuals, even if it's, and we had a couple situations like this where it was like, you know, day 13 of the vaccination, and the individual still had to quarantine for the period of time because they weren't fully vaccinated left. So, but yeah, thanks Kathy for that. That's helpful. Oh, there is one other thing I need to run by you all. So we are, I mentioned a little bit about vaccine sites and needing to set those up, trying to get to a goal of 5 a day by the time we're hitting the boosters in under 12. So we'll be reaching out to your district contacts. Margaret Perry, who's on the call here today, and Lisa Royale are going to be the two individuals from health department side of things that will be coordinating with you all to get vaccine sites set up. For those of you that don't know Margaret, and Margaret, if you can turn on your camera really quick, just so folks can get a face to the name. Margaret runs our oral health team, which does mobile site visits and other stuff like that. Margaret, do you want to just go ahead and do a quick intro on what your normal job is, and then talk a little bit about vaccines too? Oh, you're a chipmunk, Margaret. Sorry. She'll be right back on. But yeah, so for those of you who've been in these team sessions, the health department teams meetings, there's always someone that ends up like a chipmunk for whatever reason. So Margaret's experiencing those technical difficulties right now. But she'll be back on here in a second and should be able to unmute and share a little bit about her background. All right, there you are. Go for it, Margaret.
Okay, better sound there?
Yeah, we got you now.
Okay, hi. I'm Margaret Perry, and I'm program manager with Pima County Health Department. We have a couple of different oral health programs that we take out into the community. Our dental sealant program that goes to the schools to apply dental sealants, a preventive measure on children in 2nd grade and 6th grade. And then our First Things First program called First Smiles Matter, where we try to reach children 0 to 5 in childcare centers, preschools, pediatrician offices. We also serve expectant women, providing oral health screenings and education. And any place we can find expectant women, we're working with OB offices currently. Well, currently as in pre-COVID, right? We've been grounded for a while here, and therefore I'm able to help Brian and his great team out with the scheduling process now. So I look forward to working with any or all of you and getting that set up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This will be really helpful for a couple of reasons. Is one, it'll start to acquaint you with Margaret more, so that when we do start to deploy oral health services again, you'll have a face to the name, and you'll have that relationship already ready to go, so that it'll just be that much easier to get those services out to your school site when you're ready to deploy those. But for now, Margaret will be working in tandem with Lisa to schedule out vaccine sites we're planning to get every single school before the end of this school year, and have the means to do it. So just keep an eye out for those reach outs from us all. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop recording at this point in time, and